What's up, guys? Welcome to another stream. Saturday. And what a week we had. Perhaps maybe the beginning of the reversals on the indices. But the next week's going to be one of the busiest ones in the market. So be ready all the way from Monday to the end of the week. Going to be full of data releases from also 3 central bankers, FOMC on Wednesday, ECB on Thursday, Bank of Japan Friday morning, PCE on Friday. Monday starts straight away with PMI data, manufacturing services, across starting in Eurozone, UK, and then US. So yeah, full day. Tuesday is going to be CPI in Australia. So every single day there's going to be news. Every single day expect some loads of activity in the market. Aside from all of that, in terms of the macro data, there's still the Q2 earnings season with the big tech also announcing next week. Other from Meta, Alphabet, Google, it's Alphabet, Amazon, if not mistaken, Apple as well. So it's going to be a busy week in the market. Looking at what we had already from last week, so we're looking a little bit for that retracement on the dollar after such a negative move to the downside for the last basically since NFP, since beginning of the month, in here that we had all this big move to the downside. You're looking a little bit for that reversal. To be honest, myself, I was looking more for these lows to be taken before actually the big turn, especially this one in here. So on the dollar we had that move. On the euro dollar it was a bit different. Euro actually kind of took the high before making the move to the upside and took the highs that you were looking for, like that high that created that gap all the way back in February when the war started in between Ukraine and Russia. So yes, in this case dollar index actually respected the below, which eventually it's going to be taken in there. So we'll see what may happen also in there. I was looking a little bit more further down. Price was literally kind of reacting from this low in there. I was looking for price to go a little bit lower before maybe a turn. Yeah, before even this deep retracement. That's kind of what I wanted to see. And question mark or a natural target when you start noticing this move to the upside, it will be definitely this retest of previous level support resistance in here. And then kind of a decision would be made in there if price would respect it and kind of start moving to the downside, or kind of eventually create some kind of range and then may go higher, and then may go here. And actually I like this level in here. There's a little bit of a gap in there. None of these highs reacted from that level. We're looking at 101 around 101.659. So somewhere in there I think this could be interesting zone in there to look for, perhaps for some kind of reaction on the dollar readings. Again, with PMI data starting straight away from the Monday morning, expect some movement and momentum most likely in the market. In regards to the PMI, yes, we have seen that the manufacturing has been quite negative in Eurozone, not just Eurozone, even in the US and UK as well. And the services has been the one that has been positive, even though kind of slowing down a little bit as well. So we'll see if there's going to be any surprise in there, and which one the market may pay more attention to, the manufacturing or the services in that moment. So yes, expect straight away on an open movement, because I think the PMI, if not mistaken, started at 8:15, 8:30, all the way until 9 in the Euro, then 9:30 UK, and later on in the afternoon in the US. So yes, expect straight away some momentum in here. On the dollar, in the euro dollar, and so on, as soon as market opens on Monday morning. So yes, it's going to be a continuation here, perhaps a kind of retesting there, and we'll see. At this point, we'll see where price is going to be, in particular by Wednesday, right? When we do have the FOMC meeting on Wednesday in the evening. And sometimes what we have seen in terms of, because the most recent data apparently is always FOMC on Wednesday, and the day after it's straight away ECB. Like the meetings have been one after the other, It was like this one month and a half ago. It has been like this out 3 months ago, and has been kind of apparently the dates have been matching each other like that. And what we see sometimes is during the FOMC is kind of maybe a little bit of a movement, volatility up and down, but without proper the direction being established or the momentum being created in there. And then the day after with ECB, then we may have finally the direction and properly move happening. Right, so not during the FOMC, but the day after. We'll see if it's going to remain the same this week. When you do have those meetings. But yes, plenty of opportunity still in July to look for in the market. So this is the dollar index. Again, perhaps maybe continuation. I would need definitely more price action in here in order to start looking for the next level to look for. I expect maybe some kind of, or be looking for a little bit of a bounce from here, just because of that specific gap and price didn't touch it. But if prices continues to go higher, we'll see. Or if it starts moving down to the downside, eventually I'll be looking for price to take this above low, and then maybe start making the move upwards. We'll see what may happen on dollar index. Looking for the US indices, right? And this is the interesting one. S&P hasn't been that bearish, but price finally is reacting from a really interesting level, right? It's reacting from that supply level in here, which is quite interesting, all the way back from April last year. We had this above low in here, kind of, then we had fake out, and then kind of started this new cycle to the downside, and we left this zone in here. Actually, we still left also that zone just a little bit above it in there. Right, so we are reacting from this zone. Just do it this one, make it. Just do it this. It like this. This one I can do with it. Yeah, so we do have that one, which basically kind of reacted a little bit from here. We left this zone in there fresh, but you may still have a little bit of a zone even above this size, which is going to be interesting. But nice reaction. That was Wednesday or something like that, and then prices continue to move slightly to the downside. It reached one of the first targets, which will definitely be this level in here. Like, I've been looking for those sell opportunities. We had even a little bit of an engulfing here. It's kind of confirmed. Then we had the move and reach the target in here. Now question mark is that if you do break below it, then maybe start opening a room more to the downside. Otherwise, apparently yesterday price just decided to stay within this range. Yeah, if this keeps holding, maybe price can still aim to go a little bit higher, maybe to the next zone before I move down. Is there something in here? Perhaps there's still something in there. Looking at S&P and NASDAQ, we actually see that S&P has already reacted from the extreme in here, and then you'll see that NASDAQ left this one behind. Right, NASDAQ actually made a little bit more of a move to the downside and left some good levels still at the top in there behind, right? So that's something to keep an eye on. So is there something in here to look for? Price kind of respected now this range in here, and maybe can go a little bit above this size and still respect something in here, and then move to the downside. So that's still a possibility in there. Like, again, it's earnings season. We had, for example, Tesla moving to the downside after the earnings season, like really making a really big move to the downside from here, opening the gap. It's actually reacting from a good zone on the left in here. So it was a natural zone and good level to expect a reaction from, and you'll see how price will interact from these lows afterwards. And Netflix as well. It was another one that start move to the downside in there. And then we have Netflix. We now have NASDAQ. NASDAQ, again, beautiful level where it's reacting from on the left, right in here. Hey Tiger, what do you want? Welcome to the stream. And yeah, so price is actually reacting from the kind of similar supply in there, just like S&P, and it has been a while actually. Looking at the indices, if you pay attention to them and the correlation, it has been a while since both of them are actually reacting from similar zones, like S&P and NASDAQ in this particular case. Like NASDAQ has been leading for many months, and S&P lagging, and we are kind of approaching the same level of structure, same kind of zone where it reacted from, and this is where maybe the correlation starts to be in alignment for a potential reversal together. It happened quite similar back in August when price kind of reacted a little bit from this level. Like it was one of them leading, comparing the other one, and all of a sudden they kind of match each other, and then finally had a drop. But we'll see. Like when you start approaching the all-time highs, we may have eventually the push to the highs. Hey, Tiger. Yes, NASDAQ actually provided good opportunities to look for sales in here. Particularly didn't really like the way price was creating all these spikes, so I actually missed this one. But this is a level that I mentioned that is still fresh comparing with the S&P. Like that level in there, price this high in here never really reacted from there, so this level is still fresh for the future. Now this level maybe still be interesting as well. Eventually even this level in here can be quite interesting. This was a beautiful opportunity to look for a sale last Thursday and kind of had the continuation. This is a beautiful great setup in here. It's kind of a quasi model as well, looking with this left shoulder in here as well. Even broke this low. Yeah, we call this move in the live session. Yeah, this was a nice one. So this is for the future, most likely. Meanwhile, price went out the way. Like we had this target in mind as well, because this was had already broken that one. So we're looking for a bigger target at this point, and this is something interesting to look at on NASDAQ, right? So look at this structure that we created around here. Like we have these highs, this retest. Like we have this really strong structure at around 15,293, and it's going to be quite interesting to see what price will do around this level, right? Because this can be actually kind of that move upwards before maybe price kind of starting to move like this, right? If we regain again this level in here, there's actually a zone, a really clear zone in there that's quite interesting, that when price broke, hold, and then move to the upside. So if you do break that level, as you'll see in a bit, that can be a good piece of information. We also have this strong trend line also that could be supportive, even though I'm more of a horizontal guy. And then in particular, if you do break then below these walls, that's kind of the ultimate confirmation, right? But as you can see, we have this strong structure that was retested quite a few times in the past. And just this could be kind of that fake out, that spike before kind of regaining again and moving to the upside. Something that could happen is with price kind of now ranging a little bit between this zone and then kind of regaining, kind of then finally breaking below something in here. Or for example, kind of holding like this, hold, and finally break, and then could even make another final attempt just to finally move to the downside and maybe start aiming to go towards this level in here, right? So this week ahead is going to be quite interesting to see exactly what NASDAQ is going to do around this level in here. But that's one possibility in here. Price is reacting from a really good level, so the level is good in terms of all this. So basically, since price has been moving to the upside since beginning of the year, we had specific targets, right? One of them it will be definitely here, even though this one is already kind of a break to the upside. Of the size, as you can see, and then kind of we start aiming towards that level. If you remember, if you watch the stream since the beginning of the year, anytime you're looking at NASDAQ, that was our bias. And then eventually start looking ahead also for this one. And there's even the potential of going in there, and then of course you may even pick out all these highs if you do get close there. I'm expecting then the highs, but this one is one of the last ones that can actually provide any kind of bearishness in here. Meanwhile, price has been kind of respecting the highs quite regularly. The low, sorry. So we'll see. And this is the level that I was mentioning. Like when you did manage to break those highs in there, we created this structure, move to the upside, move down. We actually have this demand zone behind, which can be quite interesting to see how price can react from there before maybe, yeah, this can be actually a good zone to look for a long in here with a piece of information that maybe price actually then in the future wants to go farther down. Like this structure in here that was created, it's an interesting one. and let's see how price is going to react from here. And yeah, this is something that we are going to be paying attention on NASDAQ, and it's going to most likely keep providing really great opportunities in here. This sell-off, it was something that we looked for this last week. DAX continues to be like this. We've kind of fake out a little bit, respecting the structure. This was a key level that price respected, and maybe can continue to go a little bit higher, maybe towards that level before any kind of move to the downside. We'll see if that's going to happen in there. Looking ahead for the indices, Euro index, kind of that move to downside, as we kind of predicted. Like we had that zone in there visible for a while, and price finally went there. Like if I cut the highs, and that's kind of the moment that we started to look for the sales as well, even on the euro dollar as a confirmation, and now the euro pairs as well. So let's see if start manage to break a little bit these lows, and let's see what's going to happen next. Like there's a potential for me. I think price could now starting to aim to go far down again. ECB, anytime, well, in general, when you do have those ECBs, euro may move to the downside, but the last one actually went higher to somewhere in here. The previous one, it was in there, so you can see how around ECB meetings, euro tends to create new cycles, right? So just bear that in mind, and you can start maybe positioning yourself accordingly on Thursday to see how where the euro is going to be and what may happen after that. And then the end pairs back to the range, right? We literally look for that move to the downside, and they are back into the range in here, which is going to be interesting. Yesterday move also, it was a little bit of anticipation of what BOG is going to do next Friday, when they have the next monetary, obviously, meeting as well. We'll see if they're going to do something or not. Inflation keeps around those 3%, 3.3 or something like that. So we'll see if they're going to finally change something or not. The prediction is that they will not. But as price continues to kind of this yen index approaches again this level, the pressure is going to build up for the Bank of Japan to eventually do something. And if the yen pairs, in particular dollar yen, goes back again to that 145, we'll see what may happen in there. And then moving on to the individual currency pairs, like we start with euro. Like as we saw, euro actually created a new high in here, started to break a little bit lows, and then reacted from the highs, which it was exactly the fake out of that zone that you're looking for. Like we had this gap, and prices took the highs, and then it dropped, right? So that was the move that happened. Euro have been it was a missed continuation of missed zones for me on the euro to look for the sell. Initially I wanted to sell at 31 here on Tuesday. Price went away, didn't trend there. Then on Wednesday morning kind of retraced, and it missed my zone again, so kind of missed completely. And then in the afternoon on Wednesday I was looking more for this level to look for the continuation to the downside after taking the low, and kind of had all this compression to fill, and I missed the zone once again. So it was a complete continuation of missing opportunities in here on the euro, missing my levels in there. Even on Friday, yesterday, I was looking for price to go a bit deeper in there, which again I missed it again. Yeah, it was just literally kind of just retest. This was not really expecting much now on the euro at this point. But let's see. Again, Monday without that PMI data, most likely we can have maybe a continuation, maybe towards this level. I'm looking for price to eventually get in here. It can be an interesting zone around this level. Looks like it was kind of a decision point in there. Price going a little bit down. Yeah, price kind of respected a little bit this level now. We literally took this compression, so that's done. Yeah, that's done in there on the euro. We'll see. Even these levels that I missed to even look for opportunities whenever price retraces there. But the big move to downside, that's kind of gone already. Maybe the opportunity that are going to have by chance if price respects this level, it may just be from here to here, and that's it, and then price goes up. And this is what you need to be aware of as well. When price misses our levels, sometimes the opportunity afterwards, when price respects the level, it's a shorter target. So that's euro. We'll see what may happen. Pound we start having the bias to that last Friday it was the top. When you, on Monday, you kind of even managed to break slightly the lows. Then you start looking, okay, maybe that's actually the top. While euro kind of respected a bit and still created a new high. Pound dollar didn't really do that. It's just you start moving down, and then you had that typical move to happen, and you may continue to move down. In there, one of the first targets, it was to fill off this space. That's basically done. It's already even broken that, and we'll see now where the pound is going to go to in there. But good correction in here. Basically all the pound pairs, even pound CAD as well. That was another one that's actually provided a great opportunity for a sell. Don't know if I mentioned this one last week, but price was reacting richly from that level, and there was a great opportunity to look for sales in here and to try to capitalize on this big move in here. Moving on, yeah, euro pound also continued to move to the upside. Good reaction from there. Let's see what price eventually is going to do. I still like kind of maybe a few zones in here in the middle. If price by any chance wants to come here and then resume to the upside, I think that's a possibility to happen. But again, depending on what the pound also it's going to do. I'm just doing a bit quicker, guys, because I actually don't have much time today. And then Aussie dollar managed to respect that double top, kind of just continuation here, kind of going all the way through the range. Taking that to zone, that was okay. Didn't really follow too much Aussie dollar this week. Yeah, we may go there to see what may happen. What may happen next? Euro Aussie as well. And I've took the highs. I think it wants to go higher. I'm not really sure that this is the level kind of where it wants to stop. I think it eventually it wants to go higher and target this zone in there. The yen pairs, like that's kind of what we have. Can actually do some of this. Yeah, we start looking for the correction to move to the upside. That helped also with the dollar, as we mentioned. Like in order to happen, we would need a little bit the dollar to help, and that happened, right? A little bit, and yes, that's kind of what we're looking for. We had that level in mind as well, respected quite nicely, and it continued to move to the upside. And let's see if the target's not going to be somewhere in there. If not even then, eventually take the highs altogether, because yeah, all this structure in here doesn't really look that good in terms of holding price whenever price goes there again. I think if price starts aiming towards these highs are going to be taken. Price may aims to go a little bit higher, which there is still zones a little bit higher in there to look for. So yeah, a little bit more in the middle. Now dollar yen, euro yen actually. Euro yen went all the way. It actually took the highs. I can then retrace a little bit, and I think it can go a bit higher before I move down. It's going to be again quite interesting. Euro yen is going to be plenty of opportunities in regards to the euro with ECB, then the Bank of Japan, and also the PMI data that's going to come out on the eurozone. So I think it's going to be a pair to pay attention to, and maybe a bit more higher, but then eventually can have that retrace again. On the end, a little bit more to the downside, like I had a bigger move to downside on the pound. It's kind of still respecting the same level, and maybe we are going to continue to aim and target the highs as well. Bigger picture, as I mentioned, I still look a bit more to the upside in here on pound yen, for price to get a little bit closer there before any kind of massive reversal to happen. Aussie yen kind of the same as well, moving out upwards and trying to aim out towards that level. CAD has been an interesting one, right? It's kind of what we called to it when we did manage to break this level, and then this kind of starts to build up into, we call it a zone 2 kind of a move. This was kind of the engulf that could start opening doors to go higher. There will be no reasoning for price to take out these highs if eventually the indication it wanted to actually mention it wants to go higher. Otherwise, at least the way I look at it, just respect these highs and just create new lows if that's what you want. By any chance, before I move down, you actually take these highs, especially so aggressive as it did. Most likely this is kind of an engulf upwards, especially if this level in here at the origin is still fresh. Then I was actually I was looking actually for price to kind of slightly take these highs in here, already giving indication that indeed wanted to go higher before even kind of making this move to downside. That didn't really happen, but then the engulf happened in here, and then kind of have a retest somewhere in there. And let's see if we are not going to have the continuation and eventually breaking this highs, right? So again, let's see how it's going to happen. But now price actually reacted from a good level in here. So yes, pound CAD, which was pound dollar CAD, sorry, was a bit really nice prediction. And again, the pound CAD was a great one. Euro CAD as well, from that zone that we mentioned as well, reacting from here, really good price action in here, move to downside, fake out eventually that level, broke into this compression there, and then kind of move to the downside. And let's see what's going to happen next. Like that was the reversal or kind of the retracement that you're looking for. Maybe this is just a small retracement, and small, I mean, it's already quite big, but this may be still the continuation for price eventually to aim towards there, just the middle of the range move before kind of finding something and eventually aiming to go higher again. These lows respecting it, and the target may be those highs in there. So yeah, CAD pairs in particular, they were quite good, quite interesting to trade this the week that just passed by. Yeah, it was quite really quite interesting to trade. And this is something that I've been trying to do more often, is to try to find out which actually of these currency pairs, the ones that actually are about to create good movements on a daily basis, and even looking at the weekly basis as well. Where is the spice, and where can you see some momentum about to be created? Because that's actually where I want to be more positioned myself, instead of battling so much on the small war time frame kind of a moves. I want to try to find maybe a good war time frame entry, but with the potential for a bigger move. Like for example, trading this euro yesterday, it was maybe not the best pair to focus on. It was maybe better actually to spend more time on the CAD pairs in here to actually look for bigger moves altogether. Just as an example, the end pairs that we talked about kind of 2 weeks ago, when it eventually made all this move to downside, like starting to position myself in a way to actually try to capitalize on the bigger moves instead of just battling for smaller lower time frame, like 30 minutes targets and so on. Now I'm trying to look for a bit bigger. There's been a change recently that I'm trying to implement. Yeah, dollar franc Swiss just continues the same. Good reaction from that left shoulder on the left in here. Yeah, maybe good PA. There was actually good entry. I haven't really focused too much on dollar franc Swiss. Since we kind of had out this bearish momentum, I don't really like where price is. I mean, it's a really good zone where price reacted on the left, but it's hard to properly identify. It's way too much in the past. But this could have been a great entry in case anyone followed. This could have been really a good confirmation and entry to look for the long. Even took this fight with these lows, which broke that trend line, and you could have tried to aim for a move upwards from there with either this confirmation or the other one. Yeah, that could have been a good one. Then we have gold. It filled the compression that we're looking for. Like initially it was this one, and then it will be kind of to go all the way to the extreme of this one. Like that's kind of the range that we had been looking for, and we did that. We took these highs. At this point, price is respecting the edge of the compression. Like he hasn't really broken it. It could break it and then kind of go there. But at this point, it's just respecting it, and if it respects it, maybe there's more bullishness in here to look for. So again, that's kind of a little bit of what you are looking at. It was a nice entry after the break of the trend line in there. I haven't really traded that much gold. This could have been a great entry as well on the test of this left shoulder. Kind of it repeats, kind of the opportunities eventually repeat themselves, right? The left shoulder, fake out, and then kind of retest of that level that was just taken in alignment with a good supply or demand zone, whatever, and it keeps going. But yes, bigger picture, we'll see what gold is going to do, how price may react from there. Yeah, oil, what's going on with oil? Oil, I think it finished the week retesting the highs or even breaking the highs, right? Yeah, it's right, we took the highs, coming back at this 77, right? There's maybe good opportunity in there. The price just respected, left that zone behind, and respected this zone in here, and it may just continue to move upwards. In general, yes, I think this kind of more of a middle of the zone kind of a move until eventually price continues to aim, and I think it's going to go above this highs. I think that's kind of a kind of a natural target for price to go maybe somewhere in there before maybe a deep retracement. Meanwhile, it doesn't mean that price will not continue to move like this, or even an attempt to go back down again, maybe retest this level again and go higher. I still like that level in there. We'll see, right? There's maybe a little bit of volatility to be expected in between this level. There's a target, at least for now, maybe going above this size in there. If not, then even higher. This one can actually be the final target of this move to the upside, all the way to this 81.72 mark, right above this high. This actually can be the final target of all these moves to the upside that we have in here. Yeah. And then moving on. Yeah, moving on for crypto. It's still the same, nothing much changed in here. Like since we had that move, price just stayed within this range and price kept respecting the low and the high. So I respected this level. It's crypto total market, crypto Bitcoin quite similar. Respected that level. I still would prefer to see kind of move to downside first and then kind of fake out into that level, taking these highs, respect that zone again and move down. That's kind of a little bit more of what I think may happen, or could, or as kind of a setup that I'll be looking for. And there is this level in here as well that price can still hold it, and then price can actually go down and then kind of make the move. Or is price going to first, even before that, kind of take already, because it's a double top? You already know anytime there's kind of a double top in here, how magnetic usually kind of price is to those levels, and to fake out that level and then eventually go down, and then maybe can go finally above this high and move down. Right, the zone on the left is still good. Again, if you are bullish, kind of as long as kind of these lows in here kind of keep holding price, we may have that momentum to the upside. Okay, maybe price actually can go a little bit, go down, kind of fake out on more time, and then start moving upwards. It could happen like that. But we'll see. But this level in here, the breaks of the lows in there, even kind of that level, yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, kind of a little bit more to the downside for some reason. Yeah, Bitcoin just respected the same level in there. Again, in here, there's maybe still orders, but eventually this fake out, this double top in here is asking to be faked out. Question mark is how deep it's going to go. If it's just a little bit, and then price kind of resumes to move to downside, then eventually this is the new level that can still be faked out with price going into this extreme in here, right? Because this extreme in here is still fresh, and price can still go literally there. If any chance we have certainly a spike like this and then move down, that's a different bit different story. Can have some kind of reaction also from this level, right? It's going to be interesting in here. Ethereum kind of the same, keep holding. Also these levels in here hold as well. So it was yeah, it was maybe not the best week to trade crypto. Price didn't really create any momentum, it just stayed within that range. And this is a little bit of the example that I wanted to say. Like, if you had to trade crypto and that's what you trade, and if you're just forcing trades on Bitcoin, Ethereum and so on, like even just looking at this 4-hour time frame or 1-hour time frame, you kind of, if you could, you would have skipped. Instead of looking for this, maybe you would have preferred to look for something else with better opportunities. Even NASDAQ, for example, which offer much better opportunities in this last week comparing with anything in here. Now intraday, yeah, if you go 5 minutes or whatever, maybe you can trade. Maybe you could have catch this move in here, and that was great, great for you. But looking at in general the moves that occurred this week, yeah, the crypto will definitely be one of the bottom of my list in terms of opportunities that actually provided, comparing with, for example, euro dollar, what the dollar did, even the end pairs or the indices in particular, and so on, right? And there's a little bit of where I believe we could do a little bit more work in terms of pushing ourselves to look for those better opportunities. I think that we will increase our own winning percentage and the edge that we may have also in the market. Like I think it was maybe Mike Bebefiore that I kind of heard him saying so many times, we are only as good as the asset that we trade. Like, otherwise you cannot really force the pattern or the setup that you're looking for to be created if price is not there. Like, if you just literally trade since yesterday, how in here, if that's how you've been looking for, yeah, good luck trading that. Like, wow, you can actually try to find out better opportunities in other assets. And with that being said, guys, thank you so much. Yeah, it was a quick one today, just a quick overview, and try to see maybe what's going to happen next week. It's going to be interesting. That particular zone on the NASDAQ that I'm going to pay attention to, if we are going to break below or not. That's one to look at. Expecting straight away some momentum in the FX pairs Monday morning, and then we'll see where we are going to be by Wednesday. There's going to be still full trading days, and even almost 3, because Wednesday in the evening, that's when you have FOMC, until we actually see where price is going to be by then. And then it just moves on, but like FOMC, ECB, then BOG, then PC as well, the inflation report. So yeah, full on. Stay focused, be energetic, like stay disciplined with your own plan. There's still plenty of opportunities until the end of this month. With that being said, guys, I'll see you next Saturday. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, and bye bye. Thank you. Obrigado.